Hey everyone, good morning and good evening. Okay, let's start with today's session. Let me quickly share my screen and let's do a quick recap of yesterday what we did. So, yesterday we spoke about what exactly is version control. Then we spoke about what is the difference between a distributed version control and a centralized version control. Then we spoke about all set of different commands such as git init. Then we saw how do we do our first commit and what are the stages of git. So there are 3 stages of git, guys. Just to recap, the first stage is the working directory, the place where exactly you make the changes, all the required changes. The second stage is wherein you do the staging area, wherein you do the commit. Okay, and the third stage is once the commit is done, the index file of git which gets updated. That's the committing to the local git repository. This is what we have done till now. Okay, anyone has any questions till now, guys, with whatever commands we have ran yesterday? Okay, and there was one more thing what we did, that was adding config. So while we were talking about config, so there are 3 types of configuration which you can do. That was not covered yesterday. So there are 3 types of configuration in Git you will find. There are system configuration, global configuration, and local configuration. So system configuration is basically for all the user, and this is common across all the users. So this is all configuration related to your Git. Okay, and if you want to view the system configuration in Git, the command is git config --system -l. This will give you all the system related configuration, what is a credential and everything related to system. So working of Git, all this related information will be added in the system configuration. Global configuration is basically if a user is added to a global configuration, so he will have the required access to all the projects inside the repository, not just one single project. So just imagine if I have around 5-10 projects, so the same credential will be applicable to all my projects. Okay, I don't need to go and add the config username and all this again and again. It will be applicable to all my projects. So if you want to view the global config, the same command git config -global -l. Now if you have noticed, this is a username, user email ID and name which was mentioned before. Okay, and yesterday also we have added some username and email ID, but that is not visible over here because we have added a local config. Local config means it will be limited to this project. Your user ID and the user email and the username what you have added, that will be limited to this project. If you move out of this project to some other project, that user email and name will not work because that was local. So this will, when we do a commit, so this will be taken at that point of time. Now if you want to check the local one, so just remove the global and just check local. See this. So yesterday when we were adding config, we didn't add any local or global. We didn't specify anything when we were setting up things. So if you don't specify anything, by default it will take local. Keep that in mind. If you don't specify anything, by default in the configuration it will take local. Okay, this config and all, it's applicable, guys, when you are creating a repository from scratch. If you already have an existing Git repository remotely somewhere on GitHub, GitLab, and Azure repos. You don't have to do all this. The reason is because it will take the same user ID and password which you're using on that portal. Okay, so in that case you don't have to do it. It will take down the same user email ID and the passwords and everything, because the authentication you will do, once the authentication is done, automatically the configuration information will be set in your local system also. Okay, so if you want to set anything, then make sure to use this flag, local, global, and then you can set up as user.name and things like this. You can do it. If you want to set something purposely, that I want to set this user as global user, set this user as a local user, and things like that. Okay, you can try that. So this is from yesterday's session, just the continuation, guys. Yesterday we spoke about a basic commit and things like that. Today we'll talk about different set of branches and all. There's a removing how to select particular username. So this is when a user is doing, like suppose when you're cloning things. Okay, so if you're cloning it from an existing repository sort of, so it will ask for your user credentials. Okay, like suppose I have a remote repository on GitHub and I'm cloning an existing repository. So it will prompt you for your credential that you need to put your username, password, and automatically it will take your details. Okay, that is from the cloning. Now when you are creating your own repository from scratch, the way we did it yesterday, okay, in that case you have to add your username and email ID. That's it. So only in that case will have, if you're already in a public repository, if you're using a public repository, you don't have to do it, because your username and password will be automatically be fetched and it will be put in the configuration. It will be done automatically. You don't have to do it again. This is applicable only if you are setting up things from scratch. In that case, it will not allow you to commit. You need to provide your user email and username at least. Removing, you can simply overwrite if you want to overwrite, like if you want to change what we have added yesterday. So this is git config. I'm not giving any flag, but if you want to give a flag, then you can give a flag this way, user.name, and like suppose if I want to give some other name, what should I give? Test. Okay, and if I want to give an email ID, test@gmail.com. okay, now let's go and view it. Okay, makes sense? This is how it got overridden. Hope that helps, Saurav.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's move on. Let's understand what are branches and how do we create branches in Git. Okay, before I go and create a branches, I need to show you one more simple commit. Okay, let's do one more commit. So let's do a commit echo welcome to course. Okay, let's create a new file, hello world.txt. Okay, so this is our working directory. If I quickly go and do a good git status, so I'll get information regarding my tracked and untracked file. So I can see there is a new file added. So I can simply go and do a add git add followed by the file name. Even this is accepted, guys. You can give the file name over here, or you can even give a something like wildcard entry. You can use this wildcard.txt. So what will happen? What will exactly happen? All the files ending with .txt will be added. All the file ending with .txt will be added automatically. Just imagine if you have all files ending with Java, you have files ending with HTML, then you'll have file ending with .css. So you'll not go and add files one at a time. That is not accept it. Like if there are 100 files, will you go and check each and every file and you'll start putting files one at a time? No, that doesn't make sense. So this type of salutations you can use. HTML, like suppose there are files like HTML, CSS and Java, so you can give this way. All the files ending with all these three extensions will be added. This way you can give it. Or if you want to add everything, then there is a sign called period dot. It's just a dot, so everything will be added. Like suppose there are 100 files, all the 100 files will be added in the staging area with this dot operator. Two ways, star, that's a wildcard, dot will add everything. Make sense? So if I just do a dot, things will be there in my staging area. Okay. Now yesterday we did something like git commit. So while doing a commit, we opened this editor. Now this is not required, guys. So you don't need to open this editor. I just come out of this editor, and you just need to use a flag called -m. -m stands for message, and over here you can put in your message. Added hello world file. That's it. Done. And if you go and look into logs, this is how it is done. Okay, so simple. No need to go and while doing an add, no need of selecting any specific file. There are operators which you can use it. Secondly, even for commit, no need to open vim or vi. That was just, I was showing what exactly happens when you try to do a commit, because there are people who tend to get confused what exactly this window is. Okay, and they don't know what to do next. So I'm giving you both the idea that whenever such thing happens, so that is nothing but it's a editor, a shell editor, or else you can make use of this flag. There is one more way. If you are making change to an existing file, not to a new file, if you are making change to an existing file, like suppose there is a piece of code, hello world, okay, there's a piece of code, I'm just making changes to this code. So added new line to this, okay, and I'm using redirect sign, guys. If I'm using 2 greater than sign, then what exactly will happen? Can anyone tell me?
It will print next. If you use the single one, it will override it.
Perfect. Very good. Okay, so as said earlier, so if I'm adding 2 greater than sign, that means it will incremental changes will happen. If I just use one single, then it will basically override the file. Very good. Thank you. Done. Now if you go and see, I have one more change now in my untracked file. I made few changes to my existing file. In such cases, what we were doing till now, I was doing git add first, followed by the file name, then I was doing something called git commit followed by the message. This is something, 2 commands we were using. Now this can be combined into one single command altogether. Your adding and your messaging part both can be combined as one single command. This is git commit -a stands for add, -m stands for message. So these are the 2 flags which I will be using. First will add the changes, the second will add messages. And in place of using 2 commands, I am using one single command right now. Okay, so made changes to hello world file. Perfect. Done. Now this time if you'll see, it inserted one file change and inserted. If I go and look into log, this is what we have right now. Okay, and if you have noticed, today I'm making changes using test@gmail. Yesterday there was a change made using this email ID. See this. This is just because we made the changes in the configuration. Okay. Branches.
I have a question, please.
Tell me, please.
Sure. The other time when you're showing us how to add a file, you showed us how to use a wildcard to target a specific file, and you showed us how to use the add dot, which kind of add everything. And in this situation right now, you say we can use -a with the message to commit it directly. What about if I want to specify a specific file that I want to commit? How do I do that?
No, in that case, this -a and this together works only if you're making changes to an existing file. So if there are
Okay.
couple of changes to an existing file, then it's better to use -a. Okay.
I get it. Mhm.
And this will not work with new file. Like suppose if I'll show you. If I'm creating a new file, put anything test file. Let's name it as test file. This is a new file, correct? We don't have a test file. Hopefully I don't have a text file in this. Okay, we don't have it. Okay. So this is basically a new file if you see. If I try to do a commit with this command, okay, do you see what I'm getting? Nothing to add but untracked file present. So there's nothing to add because this is Git is not even aware what this file is. So basically the reason is Git is not aware. This is something new which you have added. So it will not let you add and commit both together. You need to add it first, then commit it first. Once the file is there in the index of Git, then you can make use of the same command earlier which we have used.
Okay, I get it now. Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now even if I go and delete this file, for example, Git has nothing to do with this file right now. If I go and delete this file, test.txt, Git will not even bother to tell you what has happened. Done. Your working copy is clean. Because you just added the file, you not committed the file, you have not done anything as such. So Git is not bothered. Git will be taking care of your files when you commit those files to Git. Then Git will start tracking. If I delete this file, for example, if I delete this hello world file, okay, now Git will start telling you there was a file which got deleted. There was a file which got deleted. Now you can decide whether you want to remove this file permanently from Git or this is by mistakenly you have done. If you have done by mistakenly, just do an add and commit again. Added the file again. Okay. Now this will, if you see, added the file again. Okay, makes sense?
Yep, I totally get it. Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Now everyone is saying that there was a branch which says what exactly this branch is. Branch got created. Okay, so in Git you can segregate your work using branches. Branches is nothing but it's a logical folder. It's not a physical folder. You will not see any folder of master branch getting created anywhere. It's a logical folder which gets created in Git, and this will help you segregating your work. Now there are multiple branches. What are the importance of branches? We'll understand that later. Maybe tomorrow I'll have a branching and merging strategy plan. We'll be discussing the branching and merging strategy plan. Okay, but today branches are nothing but it's a logical segregation of your work. Okay, it's a logical folder which gets created. So by default a master branch gets created when you do a git init. Okay, and if you want to view what are the branches, you can simply do a git branch and you can see you have a star with green highlight. This is because it's a master branch which got created automatically. You can view the list, complete list of branches with -L, as if now you're not able to view anything because this is the only branch you have. But suppose if you have anything in remote, like you have anything in GitHub, GitLab and anything as such, even those branches will be visible over here with this command -L. Okay, we'll see it later, don't worry. So with this, if you want to create one more branch of yours, you can create a branch with the command git branch followed by the branch name. This is the branch name develop. So this is something we are creating. Now done. If I do a -L again, you can see one more branch. The problem is this branch we are still in master branch. If you want to go to the develop branch and start working in it, then in that case you need to use git switch develop. Done. Now in this develop branch, if you go and view, you will have all the history. All the history you will get it. Okay. And guys, the previous file hello world was deleted. If you see, we don't have that file because we didn't restore it. In fact, we deleted it and then when we added it, we committed it. So that means we inform Git that we don't need this file. Okay. So that file is gone. We'll have to add the new file. Okay. Now if you see this, so this branch, this develop branch which we created, this branch was created out of master branch. So all whatever you did in master, everything you will see it in dev over here. And plus, if you noticed, now let's talk about this head and the pointer. This is the pointer, guys. So pointer is kind of it's trying to tell you where exactly your latest commit is. So this pointer is a key. This is telling you where exactly your latest commit is right now. So both your branches latest commit is this one. This is the latest commit for both your branches. Your head, this is the topmost commit. The head is nothing but this is the topmost commit, and it is telling you both your latest commit. It's in sync. So your develop branch and your master branch is currently in sync, and both has the latest commit right now. Okay. Now if you go and make few changes, let's quickly go and make changes in my develop branch right now. Okay. So develop change, let's name it this way so that we come to know. Let's do a quick add, quick commit. See how the pointer will change. Okay, it's clean. Now let's see the log. Now do you see where exactly the head is right now? The head is at develop branch. So this is the latest commit and this was the previous commit. This is how you will come to know which one is the latest and which one is the previous commit by git branch, by creating a new branch. This is a logical segregation, guys. If you go and view any folder in the backdrop, you cannot see any branches over here. By seeing this folder you'll not come to know which branch you are in right now. Okay, so if you want to know which branch you are in, you have to open git bash and then you'll come to know where exactly which branch you are in. Okay, and if I just switch back to master, you'll not find that file, the new file which we have created. If you go back to the folder, see that file is gone. When we are in master, the file is gone, and when we go back to a develop, you can see the file popping up again. So this is what I called it as logical segregation. See, it's all happening logically. Unlike if you go to the distributed or centralized version control, in that you need to literally create branches, and it's a folder which gets created, and when you're switching, it's like changing the folder, and that's not logical at all. A physical folder will be created in centralized version control. Okay, Now one more thing, so when I was creating a new branch, it was created by default out of master. The reason was, at that point of time when I was creating a branch, I was in master branch. Currently I'm in a develop branch, and if I create one more branch, the new branch will be created out of develop. Keep that in mind. So it will be created based where you are right now. Where I am right now, I'm in develop. So if I create a new branch from here, and if I just switch, if you go and see the log, do you see this? So it has cloned the release branch which you have created. It got cloned out of develop. So keep that in mind, guys. Okay, this is how a branch is getting created. There's one more command. So we have used two commands over here. One I have used git branch, then I have used git switch. These are the two commands we have used, correct? There is a shortcut for this also. Both the command can be combined into one single command. Excuse me. Both the command of yours can be combined into one single command. The command is git checkout. Okay, if you just use git checkout, it will simply do the same thing. Git switch, what does, like if you do a git checkout develop, so what it did, it will simply switch you back to develop branch. It's the same command, almost the same command, nothing difference. Okay, but if you use a -b with it, followed by a new branch name, feature, so what it will do, it will create a new feature branch based out of develop first thing, then it will switch you to the feature branch. See, where are we right now? Feature branch. So it did the exact same thing. Git checkout -b created a new feature branch, along with it switched you to that feature branch. So how many branches do we have now? Listing. We have 4 branches. So this is 4 work spaces what we have created, logical spaces, wherein we can make changes accordingly. Okay, any questions with the branches, guys? No questions? Okay, now let's
Hello.
break. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So we are in the feature branch right now. So if I want to create a new branch with master branch, so can I create
Yeah, why not? For
if
that,
I'm in feature branch?
no, for that you need to go back to master first. So you need to go and check out to master. From here you have to be in master, then you need to go and create a branches for you, because if you're there in feature and if you try to create anything, then it will be created based out of feature. Okay,
Thank
no problem. Okay, guys, so now,
One more question, please.
yeah, tell me.
So you created another branch out of the develop, correct?
Correct.
So if I want to push that, maybe I made a change, code changes, and I want to push it. Can I merge that changes with master, or do I need to merge it with the develop?
Okay, merging I'll cover just now, so no worries. That was my next topic.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're clear with the branches, guys, we'll talk about merge. Now what exactly is merge? Okay, we got 4 branches right now. Now if you want, this is the 4 branches. 4 branches right now. 4 branches are not in sync. So your feature, develop, release, we know that it's all in sync, but your master is somewhere else. Okay, so your master is one commit behind for all these 3 branches. So your master has some, your other branches has some files which your master is missing. And if you want to add those files to master, what needs to be done? So So if you go and see in your master folder, there is nothing right now. But if you remember your develop branch, there is a file which is there in the develop branch which is not yet in master. Okay, so in such case, what needs to be done? And how do we verify which file is missing? Okay, that is also important question. As if now we all know just one single file we have created, but that's not the reality, correct? In reality, you'll have 100 files. So if you want to see the difference between two branches, the command is get def followed by the branch name. So you want to see the difference between the master and develop branch. So this is the difference. This is the index number, no need of seeing that. And now this is a new change which we have added, and this is the file name which is missing from your master branch. Okay, so it's not there in your master branch. If you see your master branch, this file is not available. And there's one more, you can even use git GUI over here. Okay, the command is git k. This will also give, this is a graphical representation of your git history. So whatever history you saw with the command git log, this is a graphical representation over here. You can come to the master branch and you can see what all commits we did. See this. You can see the difference at the bottom. You can see the difference. You want to see the old version, new version, and things like that. So if you see the difference, this is the difference. See, now this is giving you representation of master branch. If you want to view the representation of other branch, you have to be in that other branch first. Okay, so this is just an if you want to view the graphical representation of the history, then you can view this way. Okay, so after seeing the difference, we come to know, okay, there's one file which is missing. Now if you have to merge that file, what needs to be done? Now what is the criteria? You need to merge the file from develop branch to master, correct? That is the file which is missing. So if you're working on the command line, like, so the command is git merge source branch followed by the destination branch. This is how the command should be. Okay, so in this case, what is the source branch from where you're merging? Develop, correct? What is the destination branch? Where you're merging to? Master. This should be the command, correct? But in when you're running this command on the command line, you have to be in the destination branch. You have to be in the destination branch. That means your pointer should be in your destination branch. So where I am right now, I am in master. So the command is you just need to run this much. That's it. Remember the syntax: git merge source branch and destination branch. But in reality, you have to be in the destination branch. Once you're there in the destination branch, you can simply do a git merge and develop. So it will merge all the changes from the develop branch to your master branch. See this. Git merge develop. That's it. Source branch. And I'm already there in my destination branch. Keep this in mind, guys. Done. If I go and see, you can see the file over here. Added. And now if you go and see the log, all my 4 branches should be in sync. Do you see this? All my 4 branches are in sync right now. Make sense? Okay, let's do one more commit. Let's go to some other branch. Git switch to feature branch. Okay, now let's make a changes. let's do added new feature. Feature.txt. Okay, we got this change now. Now you guys tell me, this is what the logs looks like. Now I cannot merge my feature branch to master directly. I may have to merge it to the develop first, then to release second, then to the master third. This could be a possible scenario. So what do I do to merge the changes to my develop branch? Can anyone tell me on the notepad what should be the command and what all things I should do? I want to merge this feature change with develop branch. Okay, anyone?
Yeah, we should check out to the develop branch
Perfect.
and use git merge with the branch into the
We'll have to go into
which
the
is
develop
feature
branch, and the second was git merge.
merge features to
Perfect.
the develop.
Perfect. Now if I go and see, I can find these two branches are in sync. See this pointer, guys? This is what called as reference and pointer. So if you remember the definition, what did I say? Git is fast because it's only the pointers which is moving up and down. It's not a physical folders or files getting created. Okay. Now again a scenario. Whatever you did, whatever commit we did, well, so this is a new feature commit which we did in my develop branch. Now there's a bug in this feature. You've added things into your commit develop branch. Now after your QA team has found out that there was a bug and this needs to be removed from a develop branch. This commit basically needs to be removed from a develop branch. How do you do it? Okay, so there is a command called git reset. Before I talk about reset, let me show you reset. So git reset, basically what it will do, it will reset this commit for you. It will remove this particular commit from the history. Okay, now how do you do a reset? There are multiple ways to do a reset. One of the easiest way you can find out is git reset followed by the commit ID. So you can just take the first 7 digit of the commit ID and put it over here and try to do a reset. Or there is a simpler way of using head followed by the caret sign. The caret sign is nothing but, if you see on your keyboard, on the top number 6 and the sign what you see, that is called as caret. Okay, if you use one caret sign, this commit will be removed. If you use two caret sign, this commit will be removed. So similarly it goes like -1, guys. So if you have something like this, head caret, so this is something -1 is happening. Same 2 caret, then it will be -2. This way or this way, how it works. So we all know that I want to remove the latest one. So if you don't want to go and take a hassle of copying, pasting the commit ID and things like that, no worries. Use this sign. Done. Git reset, done. Now if you go and see your history, gone. That added new feature commit is gone. But one thing, did you guys noticed? The file is still there. Do you see added new feature file is still there where I'm in develop branch, correct? I am develop branch. The file, the new feature is still there in develop branch. Even though I have removed it, it's still there. Okay, so the reason for this is let's talk about reset in a bit. There are two types of resets which you will come across. One is soft reset, and this one is by default. By default, if you're not specifying anything, that this is by default which will happen. Second is hard reset. This is, you need to specify. Okay, you need to specify. Now soft reset, this is what we did, correct? Did we specify anything that I want to do a hard reset or soft reset? No. So this part deletes only your history, not the actual file. It will delete only history. So this is kind of giving you an additional chance that if you have done a reset by mistakenly and if you want to revert your changes, then please go and do it. Now if you go and see your status, do you see this file is waiting in untracked right now? If I go and remove it from here, it's gone, because I purposely went ahead and deleted it. Okay, now before my deletion, it was still there. It was telling you that, dude, there is a reset done, whether you want to recover the file again if it's done by mistakenly. If not, go and delete it. It's okay. So what did I did? I went ahead and deleted it. Okay, because I knew, no, it's not a backed up file, it's okay for me. Now on the other side, if you do a hard reset, then there's no U-turn. Hard reset will delete history and the file, whatever you're deleting. So in hard reset, guys, no U-turn. So whenever you use anything as such, in reality, think twice. In reality, whenever you in real time, if you're making changes to a repository, think twice before doing a hard reset. So hard reset by default, it will not happen. Hard reset, you need to specify. Now let's see the same example. Now previously we were merging from feature to develop. Now I'll merge from feature to release. Okay, let's switch to release branch. Same scenario, exact same scenario. Now the only difference is I'm merging it from done. I got the same file again. Now this time I got the same file, added new feature. If you see back, there is a feature file added over here. Perfect. Let's do a reset. I know I don't have to look the commit ID. I can simply do a hard reset, and this time I'll do a hard reset because by default it does soft reset. But if you want to specify, then this is how you will be specifying: hard, soft. Soft you don't need to specify, that's by default. Then hard, it is something you can specify. Do this. Now if you have noticed, the feature file from here, it's gone. And if you go and see, the history is also gone. The added new feature is not there. Plus if you go and look into the status, your working directory, nothing over here. Okay, so this is what reset does, guys. Be very vigilant when you're doing anything as such. Okay, are we good?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm so sorry for interfering all the time.
No problem.
Yeah, when you use the head and the caret, I just want to know the commits that's going to be deleted or removed. Is it kind of hierarchical? Is it going to come from up, down, or
Yeah, so
or what?
this is from up down. If you're using head, very good question. So if you're using this head, so basically it will come from up to down. From here, it will follow this route. So this is the latest one. So basically it will start from your latest itself. Okay. Okay, now there's one more important concept, guys. Before that, let me make couple of changes. Let's switch to develop. Now over here I need to make couple of changes. Let's name it as change 1, and let's have it change 1 underscore 1. I'm doing a add, do a commit. Okay, change 1. Now let's do other change 2. Let's do a add, let's do a commit, change 2. So why did I add this two couple of changes? If you see, there are couple of files, change 1, change 2. Okay, now if you see the log, then there are 2 commits. Now the scenario is there are multiple commits in your develop branch, and now this develop branch changes needs to be pushed into my release branch. Okay, so when I do the basic merge which we were doing till now, what it was doing, if I go and do a merge, git merge and develop, so what it will do, it will merge all my changes, correct? Change 1, change 2 both will get merged. But that is not my scenario. My scenario is I want to merge only specific changes. What is the scenario? My scenario is I want to merge only specific changes, not all the changes in my develop branch. In reality, let me tell you in a bit, develop branch in reality is the branch where there are changes coming in from all the developers. Okay, if there are 10 developers, the 10 developers will be using this develop branch for pushing changes, what they're developing, what future development they're doing, what bug fix they're doing, everything will come over here. Now imagine I am a developer and this is my change and this is someone else's change. If I go with the strategy git merge, both the changes will go in the release branch, which I don't want. Or imagine this change 1 is going in current release, this change 2 is for future release. If I put everything in release branch, what will happen? My release branch will push everything. If you have pipelines enabled, then it will push everything to your production, which is wrong. Then how do we specify, like if in my scenario, I just want this part to be there in my release branch, not this part. So definitely my git merge concept will not work over here, because if I do it, everything will get merged. Okay, so there is a concept called git cherry picking. So this is very important question from interview perspective, guys. Definitely they will ask this question any which ways. Cherry picking is a concept. So as the name suggests, just imagine you have bunch of cherries and you are just picking up specific cherries and consuming it, the best cherries out of it. Okay, so that's the same concept. You got multiple commits over here. Out of this commits, you want specific commits to be pushed, then you can go and cherry pick those commits. How do you exactly do it? The syntax is, firstly you need to go in the branch, destination branch. So git cherry picking, spelling mistake, it's only git cherry pick followed by the source branch commit ID. Source branch commit ID, you need to have commit ID which you want to pick, and the destination branch. So where you want to, what is my target? I want to cherry pick to my release branch. That is what my scenario is, correct? So I'll have git cherry pick. What is my source branch commit ID I want to cherry pick? I go back, this is the commit ID. So I just take the first 7 digit. Okay, that is more than enough, and followed by the destination branch, that is release branch. Okay, but in reality you have to be in the release branch, and this is the only command you'll be running. In reality you have to go in the release branch first. So what I'll do, I'll switch back to release branch. Okay, I'm inside the release branch right now. If you see, I don't have both the files now. Change 1, change 2 is not there right now. And if you go and see the history also, there's nothing as such. No change 1, change 2, nothing as such. Okay, so now I'll go and run this command. Git cherry pick. I'm already there in my destination branch. Now I can simply go and run this. Done. Do you see change 1? Only the change 1 has come up. And if you see the log, only the change 1. This is how cherry picking concept works. Okay. Now this is in reality from release branch. This changes will go in production and your changes will be deployed in production. And once it is deployed, we always tend to tag things. Like this was version 1.1, bug fix 0. something. This is how we do tagging in reality. The tagging is for a purpose. So by the tag we come to know what exactly we did, what the developer did. So how do you tag it? If you want to tag, the command is git tag followed by the tag name. So tag name, what you want to give? Version 1.0. So what it will do, it will automatically go and tag this latest change if you don't specify any commit ID. So let's see this. Do you see there's an extra additional tag added over here? So this is how tagging happens. Tagging is just a naming convention, guys. So this is a very good way of making sure what we did. So if you're doing a release and the release was successful, then you tag it with the release name. What release? If it's a bug fix, you tag it with the bug fix name. This is how you'll come to know in past, like in future, you'll come to know by seeing the logs, by seeing the tags, you'll come to know what exactly you did. Okay, are we good till here? Anyone? Any questions? No questions? Okay. Now there's one more scenario I'm giving you. Let's go back to your feature branch. Now if you see in your feature branch, your working directory is clean. There's nothing in your working directory. Now let me go and add something to it. Adding new feature. Okay, and let me add something to it. New feature .txt. Now if I just do a simple add, so I'm till here. Did I add? My new feature is waiting in the staging area to be deployed into, waiting in a staging area to be committed in my local repository. Now suddenly your manager pops in. He says like, dude, whatever you're doing, just drop it for now. There is a emergency change which you have to work on immediately. This is the scenario. Now you are already working on something, guys. You have spent, just imagine this is a HTML code which you were writing for last 3 days. Just because your manager popped in and asked you to work in an emergency change, you cannot drop your changes, because if you want to work on an emergency change, you have to make sure that your working directory is clean, because if you start adding changes, it will start getting added to this itself, correct? And if you do a commit, it will not let you commit because this was not staged. So all these issues, and plus you cannot drop everything, you cannot delete this file because this is something you're doing it from very long. So how do you handle such scenario? In this, there's a concept of stashing. Okay, stashing is a temporary place which will keep your uncommitted changes and make sure your working directory is clean. Okay, again repeating, stashing will place your uncommit changes in a different temporary location and make your working directory clean, so that when you're done with your emergency change, you can go back to stash and you can fetch your changes again. Okay, how does this stash works? Now you have uncommit changes over here. I can simply do a git stash. Saved your directory and index state work in progress on feature. This is the location where it was added. How do you know where exactly the file is? Okay, if you see the backend, the file is the new feature which we have created. The file is not there right now. Okay, and if you go and look at your status, your working tree is clean now. Go and do your emergency change, and now suppose you're done with the emergency change. How do you see where exactly your files are? Git stash list. Do you see stash 0 was created? And your commit ID added new feature. Now you are in a position to start working on it. So git stash, there's a command called pop. Okay, done. Do you see the new feature file got added over here again? And if you go and see your log, you will see your not log. If you want to see your status, you'll see your file again. Start working on it. Again a scenario, if you're working on something and if you want to work on something else, because you need your working directory to be clean, correct? So in such case you can make use of stashing. This will keep all your changes in a temporary location. Okay, one more thing to remember, when you do a stash, like I did a stash again. Okay, so if you do a stash, this is the stash which was created, and if you drop this stash, like if you're trying to delete this stash, what will happen? Git stash drop. What will happen, guys? It will remove this stash as well as your uncommit changes. Everything will be deleted. If you go and look into status, there's nothing. If you want to go and look into stash list, there's nothing. So if you're doing a stash and by mistakenly you did drop, then you're gone. All your uncommit changes will also get dropped along with it. Everything will be deleted.
Can we call it back?
No.
No? Okay.
No. It's gone. Okay. So keep it. Whenever you're using this, make sure you're using it very wisely. Two commands as talked about, git stash drop and git reset hard. These two commands keep in mind and use it very wisely. Make sense? Now there are other things also which is there. Git fetch, git clone, git pull, git push, git sync, git push tag, and there are others such as git remote and things, but all this will work if we have a remote repository. So not right now. In my next session I'll introduce you to Azure repos and this local repository which we have over here. Just imagine I got a scenario. Till now I was working all alone on my local system. Now I got a team and need to share this code, this piece of code, whatever we have written, with my team. How do I share it? So the best way is put this code on a remote repository, correct? So in our case we'll be using Azure repos and we'll be pushing this entire code. We'll see how do we push this entire code on Azure repos. For that we need to understand what is remote, git remote, how do we add a git remote, how do we verify a git remote, and what is the difference between push, pull and fetch. This is something we'll understand, but not right now. This is we'll do maybe on Friday or next Monday. Okay, because in between I want to, before I start with Azure repos, I want to start 2 topics in between, which is something we'll do it tomorrow. Okay, anyone has any questions, guys? Any doubt before we wind up the call for today? Anyone?
Rohit, Git rebase, like that we'll be doing later.
Yeah, rebase is a very important concept. So yeah, rebase, not just rebase, there are multiple things: fast forward, non-fast forward, squash. These are advanced topics, and this is we'll do when we have a remote repository. So that will make more sense at that point of time.
Okay.
We have it in my PPT, don't worry.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, anything else, guys? So git merge is very simple, guys. There are other things, other factors of merging which you will come across. Squashing, there are factors of squashing, fast forward merge, non-fast forward merge, rebase merge. Okay, these are advanced topics in Git. This is something we'll do eventually when you get comfortable with all these commands which we just ran through. Okay, don't worry, that's part of curriculum. We'll do it. We are spending almost a week just to understand Git in details. Okay, so no worries. Okay, if you guys have no questions, we can wind up the call. Let's meet tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll talk about branching and merging strategy. How exactly a branching and merging strategy will work in real time. Okay, in live projects. This is something we'll talk about. So more of a theory. So let's meet up tomorrow and let's discuss that first. Okay. So thank you
Yeah,
very
can
much.
you please paste some of what we're gonna be doing tomorrow so we can play with it before the class, if you
Sure,
don't
sure.
mind?
Why not? I'll put it in the group chat itself. Don't worry.
Okay, please.
Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye.